Nalibali is a national reading for enjoyment campaign to spark children's potential through storytelling and reading. They're now calling on the nation to help them pass on the power of stories and set a Read Aloud record this coming World Read Aloud Day, and that's taking place next week. To tell us more about the campaign, we're joined in studio by Nal'ibali Gauteng Support Coordinator, Bongile Mtolo. And it's good to welcome him. Good to have you. Welcome to the program.
Morning. Thank you for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. Take us back to the beginning. I mean, we've been chatting to you guys for a while now. How did Nalibali come about?
Nalibali came about for one simple reason. We want to make sure that young people see reading as an enjoyable pastime. You know, you look at kids these days, what they actually do every time they are bored, you'd find them playing a PlayStation or anything else but a book. So Nalibali is trying to make sure that young people see reading as one of those things that they can do as a nice pastime. So reading for enjoyment is our main core business.
Yeah. Well, I mean, reading is so essential, and I'm not sure we do it enough. So we talk about the 24th of this month, which is World Read Aloud Day. What sort of events are we taking place around the country to celebrate it?
Actually, this year we are taking up a huge task, because last year we actually read to 166,000 kids. If you remember when we had an interview with you guys, we were requesting, at the time we had read to 48,000 only. But with everyone pulling through and everyone helping us, we actually ended up reading to 166,000 last year. We would like to double that or triple that number. If you look at the number of kids that are actually there, there's about 17 million children in the country, but only 5% of them are read to. So the question then becomes, what about the rest? And we would like to try and get South Africans to actually come with us and help to bring up that number. At least if 50% of those kids are read to, you know what, we'd know that young children have had the chance to have a story told to them once in their life.
Yeah, I mean, is it just a matter of calling on normal South Africans to come out in their numbers and just pick up a book and read to kids?
You know what is important is those normal South Africans, that mom, that nanny, that father that stays with the daughter at home. Anyone who has a child in their vicinity should be taking this on. Because if you remember, we are depriving kids of a very wonderful thing, telling them stories. And these stories are embedded in some of us. Some of us are who we are because of the stories we were told as kids. You find we've learned some values from the things that we were told from stories. So for us, it's so important that the ordinary South African, the one person who's sitting at home, anyone who has a book and a child in their space, should be able to read and tell a story to a child.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite incredible. I mean, I'm at a point in time now in my life where my little one is starting to read. So I'm seeing this enlightenment in him. It's like a light switch going on, that he's recognizing words, he's reading books, he's getting into it, and it's just, I see the change taking place in him. And it's so important. You can't place a value on it.
If only people could just see the importance of what the spark that lights in a child when they open a book for the first time. If only people could understand the type of things that help a child from reading. The only way you can try and help a child to learn is to actually try to help them read. If you read to them, they learn vocabulary, they're able to express themselves better, they become better people. So I don't see how people can avoid to try to read to kids. I don't see how we can avoid reading as a function. In terms of some of the other programs that you do, obviously it's not just about the 24th of February. No.
How does Nalibali assist when it comes to literacy and to also learning and teaching kids?
At the moment right now we are in partnership with Department of Education, because now what we are trying to do is to get the culture of reading into schools as well. Not that we are saying it's not happening, but we are saying it's not enough. We need to get into schools and make sure that young people read more. We need to get into school and make sure it's something that is embedded in them for them to grow up as readers. It's the only way, because if you want a literate country, that's the only way.
That's the way to do it.
And you should have seen us we have a program that we run as well that's called the Traffic Book Jam, where we go to a corner of a street and we just start giving away books. You will just see people. It becomes a traffic book jam for real. When people open their windows and want a book, people do not want, they want books for free. And because people can't afford these books. So as an organization, what we try to do is make sure that there's access to books and there's access to more reading for everyone. But critical to this whole thing is to get kids used to doing this. And the only way they can do it is if they see someone doing it.
Absolutely.
So as parents, anyone who has a child in their space, a nanny anywhere, they should be practicing reading and showing kids that this is how it's done. If they see how it's done and they see it practiced, that way they get
They
to
learn
to
by
the
example.
culture.
Just wrap it up for us in terms of what's taking place at Orlando Stadium, because I know you're trying to break records here. So at Orlando Stadium, there's a big event taking place.
There's a huge event happening in Orlando Stadium. There's going to be, this is done with the help of Orlando Pirates as a club.
Lovely.
And there's going to be young people reading there as well. In just a few kilometers away from that in El Dorado Park, there's going to be a huge Department of Education event where young people will be reading the story at the same time as well. So we would love to see South Africans coming out. If you are in the vicinity of the stadium, please go there. Take a child, go there.
Yeah.
Make sure that they are read to. If you are in El Dorado Park somewhere, please pick up a child. Come with, take part, enjoy.
Thank you for talking to us. We wish you the best of luck. It's a fantastic initiative. Bongile Mtolo, he's the coordinator for the Nal'ibali Gauteng Support, taking place World Read Aloud Day next week. It's on the 24th. And you can hear all of the events that are taking place around the country. Please join in. Let's take a break. When we